Connects to your tools, your files, your calendar, whatever database you're running, all through one standard. But the model itself has never heard of MCP. It doesn't speak it, it doesn't know it exists. All it ever gets is a list of tool descriptions sitting in its prompt, and it writes back the name of one. Everything after that is normal software, doing normal software things. That's why everyone could agree on it so fast. Nobody had to change their models for this.
The AI that matters every day.
So let's talk about MCP. Let's go through with it. First, we have the setup. You already have your AI chatbots like Cloud or ChatGPT that you want that they are able to connect and use other tools like Gmail, Google Drive, and Google Documents. But you cannot do it because these chatbots only read and write words, and they don't have hands to be able to use these tools like Notion, Figma, Slack, etc. So it has no eyes, no hands, and no way to reach out and touch anything on your computer. So it can write you a perfect email, but it cannot open your inbox, for example, and send. It can explain how sales numbers probably look, but it cannot go ahead and read them. So it's just text and text, text in, text out. So everything it knows came from the text it was trained on, plus whatever you pasted in your input in your chat box. But to be able to connect it to those tools, someone came up with an idea, giving the smart thing, these smart AI chatbots, a way to reach your actual tools that you already use, like Gmail, Google Drive, Google Documents, Figma, Notion, etc. So someone came up with this idea. So how it was solved this? So companies obviously wanted to fix this, so these AI chatbots were able to use other tools and send emails and get context from Google Documents, for example. So they did it directly, by hand. They wrote the code by hand for each connection. So if you wanted your AI app to read Gmail, an engineer sat down and wrote Gmail specifically code for your app. So it was by hand and it take a lot, and they only personalized them for those companies that did it. So this is how it started everything. So this is how the first thing that these AI chatbots were able to connect to tools, but only the companies that wanted this fix and did it by hand in their code, and only, for example, Gmail, and nobody else could ever connect Gmail unless they had the same exact code. So before late 2024, every AI app wrote its own for every tool, wrote its own code to be able to connect it, for example, to Gmail, and this AI chatbot be able to send emails. So for example, if you wanted
Six assistants, 100 tools each. That's the 600, not a number MCP invented, a number someone paid for, wiring every single pair by hand. Change one tool's API and all 600 break separately.
AI apps and 100 tools connected, you needed 600 separate connections. So it took a lot time and you did it by hand. So a Gmail connector bit for one app did nothing in any other app. So only several companies were able to use this. Then we have the myth. This myth that MCPs make the AI smarter or more capable is not true, because inside an MCP there is no AI inside an MCP, so that's why it doesn't make an AI smarter or more capable. MCP
Open it up and there's nothing running. No model, no reasoning, no memory sitting in the middle. Three things: a document, an agreement, a set of rules, the same kind of paperwork that makes a power outlet fit any plug, not a brain deciding what to plug in.
is just documents, agreement, and rules. MCP is just a written agreement about the exact format. So a document is an agreement between two things. It's an agreement that contains the exact format two programs should use when they send messages back and forth. So as you know it, it's an agreement written with rules for these AI chatbots and these tools about what they can do, what these AI chatbots can do, and send and etc. So this way you give it hands from this agreement. So what then we have what MCP actually is. The MCP stands for Model Context Protocol, and the important word in here is the protocol, because protocol is an agreed format. So we have this cloud or ChatGPT, these AI chatbots, and we want to connect it to these tools. So Anthropic, the cloud company, wrote in November 2024 and published it for free some text. It wrote something, and anyone could use it without asking for permission or pay it. So it posted something online free, and anyone could use it, Anthropic. So almost all of that message that Anthropic wrote comes down to two messages. We have the AI chatbots in here, Cloud or ChatGPT, and this is how it works. For example, Cloud says, "What can I do?" And it asks the tools you want to be connected to, for example, Gmail. And Gmail answers, and it gives it what it can do. Then Cloud asks again, "Do this thing, here are the details." And then Gmail does it, and it comes back and it responds. So one connector now works for everything. So we have solved the first thing that we had at the beginning, that only these companies could do it, and it takes a lot of separate connections to do. But now anyone can connect it. One connector now works for everything, and we have solved a big problem that we have. Now we have three pieces: the client, that it's the word that it's called for Cloud or ChatGPT, the app you're trying to type, the app you type into, like the ChatGPT, Cloud Code, Gemini, etc. And then we have the server, that it's the tool you want to connect, the little connector program for one tool. Server here doesn't mean a data center, just to remind you. It's a small program running your own laptop, and it's one per each tool. So for example, one per Drive, one per Notion, one per Higgsfield, one per Figma. And because they all speak the same fixed format, the Gmail one you installed today works in any app that supports MCP. So it was only done once, not millions of times. Then we have the menu. So now you have connected it to that tool. We have the three pieces. You have to connected the client with the server. So now what happens? Okay, when your app connects to one of those little computers programs in your laptop, the first thing that happens is the connector sends over a menu. Yeah, like a restaurant, let's put it. It sends over a menu, a list of everything it can do. So these connectors, the server sends a menu to the client, to ChatGPT or Cloud, what it can do. So then happens this. So Gmail connectors menu. For example, let's put the Gmail example. So the Gmail connectors menu might have an item that says, in here, send an email. Here's what it needs from you: a recipient address, a subject line, and the body text. So it sends it to Cloud or ChatGPT, to this AI chatbot, for example, and slips it alongside your message. So it reads what the tool said to this email tool, what it said, and works out from that whether it's the right tool for what you ask. So if I send a prompt to ChatGPT and I tell it, send an email to this and that. So what does ChatGPT? It asks Gmail, and then Gmail says, to send an email you need this: a recipient address, a subject line, and the body text. So it sends it to ChatGPT, and ChatGPT says, it puts it through your message, it reads it, and it says, is this the right tool that Pep wanted me to do? He wants to send an email, and this gives me the capacity to send an email. So yeah, it's the right tool. Then we should use this tool. And that's what it happens. This server sends a menu to the client, and then we have the call. So we have again the AI chatbot, the Cloud or ChatGPT. Now it has read the menu and decided it wants to send the email item because I prompted to send an email. So we have the right tool for this. But what happens that this ChatGPT Cloud cannot send the email? It can only produce text, as we said at the beginning. So how do we do it? It can produce a little written order. So it calls this tool with these details, and it stops and waits. So that is what happens. It calls the Gmail tool, it with the titles that it gets from the menu, and it sends to this Gmail what it wants to do, and it stops and waits. So then we have Gmail that reads that ticket that ChatGPT has sent, makes the call, and when it finishes doing what it does is that it converts that finished in output, that finished thing into text, and it sends it over back to ChatGPT or cloud. And then what does ChatGPT do? ChatGPT now asks a human, that little human, it asks you, do you want to allow this? Do you want to allow to send an email? And then you say yes or not. And that's how everything here works. So first, to make it simple and to sum it up, first thing, basically you tell Cloud or ChatGPT what you want, you give it the prompt, and then they send a message to the connector like Gmail as we talked. Then Gmail sends back a message to Cloud or ChatGPT telling them with the menu with what they can do. And then ChatGPT or Cloud send a message again to Gmail to what it has to do. And when Gmail finishes, they give a text, they send a message back to Cloud or ChatGPT with a text, and then ChatGPT or Cloud send you a message to you if you want to allow this or not. So this is how everything works. I hope now you understand better MCPs and how to use them. So please give a like and subscribe, and I will see you on the next video.
That's how I build. One person and every AI in public. The AI that matters every day.